Hello. Welcome to another episode of Sovereign Alchemy, the podcast for the women who are ready to change their life, manifest all that they desire without the hustle and without the burnout. In today's episode, I want to share with you a thought that my coach gave me in hopes that this is going to help provide you with a new mindset that you can take into your day and stop feeling like you're doing everything wrong. I'm going to get there, but before I dive in, I just want to say thank you to all of you who continuously show up and listen to the podcast. I'm so grateful for you. And I had a client the other day who was listening, and she's like, Mary Jo, why were you texting and driving? Because I talk about how that was a bad habit that I want to get out of. And it just like hit me in that moment that there are people who love this podcast so much that they listen to every episode and they know all the details and things that I share. And I'm just so grateful for you. So, thank you for showing up and listening. I am very lucky that all of you come back every single episode that I post and you listen. And what would I do without you? What would I do without you? I wouldn't have anybody to share all of this wonderful information with. So, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for trusting me with your personal development on air. Okay, let's dive in. The thought that has truly helped me expand and grow is nothing's gone wrong. Absolutely nothing has gone wrong. What this has done for me is it really has helped me shift the way I show up when it comes to improvement. And right now we're in the thick of Virgo season, which is all about improvement, habits, the daily work that we do and growth in terms of the structure and the routine, and everyone's kind of coming back into school, and I know with my son I'm trying to figure out my new routine, and with him being in school and a new job and everything, sometimes it can feel like a lot, and sometimes we make mistakes. Like, I was supposed to record the podcast yesterday, but I have two options. I can either be like, oh my gosh, I didn't get it done. I can beat myself up. I can feel like everything's gone wrong, or I can just show up today, record a podcast, get it in, get it done, and then keep going. We have two options. Which one do we want to choose? Do we want to believe that when things aren't working out, that you've done something wrong? Or do we want to believe that we're doing the best that we can and it will get better and it will improve? So during this Virgo season, I really want to offer you the thought like nothing has gone wrong. So as you're getting back into your teens, as you're getting back into the habits and the structure, remember, nothing's gone wrong. You're right where you're meant to be in this moment. We can't change what's happened in the past. So, I want to share a few things that my client that I worked with last night was sharing with me and show you what it sounds like to to treat yourself in a way of, oh my gosh, I got to fix this, and how that can really hurt your ability to accomplish your goals quickly. If you want to accomplish your goals quicker, we want to switch this up, okay? So my client, she was saying things like, "Oh, I did that wrong. Like I should, I need to do better." Right? I'm really not good at boundaries, and people aren't listening to me, and I just need to figure this out. I need to get better. And I want you to think about what would it sound like if you said that to a coworker, to a friend, to your kids, right? If you're like, and I'm just going to use a name, for example, like if I were to tell my daughter, like, Kayla, you did that wrong. Like, you should know better by now. Like, you shouldn't, you should be further along. You're not really good at boundaries and people aren't listening to you, and you need to figure it out. That's not going to motivate my daughter. It's not going to help her. So pay attention to what you're saying to yourself, because it's literally going to change how your results show up for you. Because if you're thinking, I need to do better, what are the emotions that arise from those thoughts? To me, that's like anxiety, frustration. Oh my gosh, like I and then it brings up more feelings and more thoughts. To me, this is where the law of attraction comes in and we get in the frequency of just, I'm not good at this, da, 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 da. We get back in the old habits. And we don't want to be there. Yes, we have room for improvement, but see how that changes when you say something like, there's room for improvement versus I need to be better at this. There's room for improvement creates expansion in my heart and in my feelings. It feels like growth. It feels like happiness. It feels like movement. It feels like trust. And from that space, the actions that I'm going to take are so much different. The actions feel aligned. The actions feel peaceful. The actions feel grounded. I'm able to be like, okay, you know what? I didn't record the podcast yesterday. I wanted to get it done. So what? Now what? What am I going to shift? I'm just going to wake up 10 minutes earlier, get it recorded, and call it good. And be so proud of myself for showing up when things felt like they weren't working out and choosing and deciding that nothing's gone wrong, that I can just pick up exactly where I was and continue to work on my goals and my dreams. You see the difference and how that shifts so much for you? We'll get there. We will get to the goal so much quicker. And will be on the path so much quicker when we believe that we are on the path. Yes, things have happened. Yes, things aren't exactly maybe where you want them to be. You get to choose though. Is it wrong that you are where you are? Because typically, when you believe that it's wrong, it means that you're making meaning of something about yourself. I said that very complicatedly. But if you believe that something's wrong, it probably means, for most of us, that you're making meaning of that situation, that there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay? We have grown up probably in a society where we didn't learn to celebrate ourselves, where we didn't learn to put focus on all the things that are going right. And this is something I recommend to all of you is instead of listing out everything that's gone wrong, because I see this with my clients so much, and the reason I see it is because it's something I used to see in myself, is I used to complain all the time about all the things that were going wrong at work. This person did this and this person did this, and all they do is talk about the news, and I don't want to listen to the news, and this person's very narcissistic and this person did this, and oh my gosh, it builds so much stress and anxiety in my body. And instead of complaining and feeling like everything's gone wrong, what's going right? I'm gaining so much experience in my job, and I'm going to be able to take those skills into my next job. And I have the ability to go on long walks, and I start putting together a list of everything that's going right, and your brain will start to see it. And this is something I teach inside of Magnetic, is how our brains work and how we are wired for survival and how we can actually shift that. We can actually show our brains how to shift the dynamic of wired for survival into wired to thrive, wired to show up and get shit done, wired to show up for yourself and to start feeling more peace, calmness, and confidence in showing up for yourself. Your goals and dreams do not have to feel like a hustle. They do not have to feel like this hard thing that you have to do, but that matters how you are showing up and what you are telling yourself on a daily basis. How are you talking to yourself? So the first thing here is awareness, right? Awareness, awareness, awareness. Notice the things that you're telling yourself. Maybe even ask a friend who is also in the personal development space, or, reach out to me. I would love to be your coach. And we can look at some of the things that you're saying to yourself and we can shift that dynamic, because once you know that it's there, then you can shift it. But here's where this is going to be very ironic. Here's where most people go wrong. Here's where most people go wrong is that they tell themselves that once they become aware of it, they see it, they recognize it, and they beat themselves up and tell themselves that they're doing it wrong. No, 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 sweetie. You are not doing it wrong, because the fact that you are aware of it Now that you're aware of it, you are right on track because now you have the opportunity to shift that. So the first thing is awareness. And then the second thing is compassion so that you can show up and be like, hey, girl, we've got this. We're going to shift it one step at a time. And I tell this story all the time about driving to work in the summertime. When I used to work at the college here in the town that I live in, there was always construction going on in the summer. And for like 3 years in a row, I would go down the pathway and there'd be a new construction route. And that would be the route that I would normally take on a regular basis. So all year long, I would go that way. And then all of a sudden, there was construction. And I would keep going that way for the very first few times because it's a habit, right? Like I'm just driving, I'm getting there. It's a habit. Well, the way that you think and the way that you're talking right now is just a habit. And the only way to break that is number one, well, there's a multiple ways. You can beat yourself up about it and you can make yourself feel bad and slap your hand and punish yourself for doing the wrong thing. And I'm using air quotes here. Or, or you can be so grateful that you were aware of it. Right. And so this is what happened to me is I'd be like, oh my gosh, Mary, like you went down the wrong. And I finally decided one day, like, that's not helping me. And I was just like, okay, sweet. I went the wrong way again and now I have to go around. Fine. It's totally cool. Like nothing's gone wrong. I just have to remember tomorrow. Okay? First of all, awareness. And then the second day I went that way again and I'm like, "Okay, sweet. I'm aware of it again. Okay, sweet. I'm aware of it again." And then the next day I'm like, "Hey, let's go this other way." Because our brain is going to remember what's important, but if it's clouded by you're not good enough, you're doing things wrong, da 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 da, you're just adding stress and tension that's going to cloud your ability to think clearly. When you use the thought and the mindset, nothing's gone wrong, you literally are, it's like taking this big deep breath, stepping back, looking at your reality and saying, okay, here's what can shift, here's what I can do better, and here's what I'm proud of myself for, and here's how I'm going to move forward. Versus, you never do anything right. You're always doing it wrong. Da, 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 da. Let's shift that. Let's shift how we show up for ourselves. And this is something I work with my one on one clients in Magnetic. I'm so excited for this new program. If you are wanting to be a part of that, I'm going to be opening it up probably in October. Again, I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm trying to put together a new launch plan and that will be coming out soon. I'm probably going to stay tuned because I'm probably going to be doing another free challenge where we dive deep into how you don't have to follow everyone else's rules. You can actually create your own strategy and your own plan. And then we'll also help you rewire your mindset so you're not beating yourself up and you can actually start to make or get your mind to work for you instead of against you. A lot of us are literally running an uphill battle because we don't know what to do with all of these thoughts that happen, right? Our thoughts are on an abundance of repeat and we've been taught like again going back to, what we're saying earlier is like, "Ah, I'm doing this wrong." Da 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 da. And starting to shift that into a different dynamic that puts you on a different frequency. And if you're like, what the heck do you even mean frequency? Go back and listen to the very last episode where I talk about how to increase your revenue because I really dive deeper into how to increase your frequency and what it means and all of the in-depth stuff there. So make sure you go back to the last episode about how to increase your revenue and income. And that will like dive deeper into what it means to increase your frequency. But when you're on this low level frequency, if I'm not doing enough, I did that wrong, da 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 da, you're not an energetic match to the things that you want. And so we're going to shift that dynamic inside magnetics so that you are on that higher frequency so that you become the energetic match to the thing that you want. And I'll give you a quick little example here. If I'm a coach who doesn't believe in myself, I am not an energetic match for somebody who is looking for a coach that can help them believe in themselves. That's what I really mean when I say energetic match. You want to be the energetic match to the thing that you want. If what you want is a healthy body, and yet you're not showing up and taking care of your body or believing that you're capable of taking care of your body, you're not an energetic match for that thing. And it's going to feel like an uphill battle trying to work for it. And this is where we shift that dynamic. And then we really dive deep into how to regulate your emotions so that you're not constantly feeling triggered by all of the things around you. I remember I used to log onto Instagram when I first started my business, and I would see things like, uh, I how I manifested, $5,000 in a week. And that would trigger me because it's like, well, why? Basically what I would do is I'd make meaning of it and be like, well, why can't I do that? And then I'd feel those heavy emotions, and then that would trigger some situation from childhood or da 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 da. And this is inside this program, this is where we regulate your nervous system and we process those emotions and we process that past pain that you feel stuck in that's not allowing you to stop making meaning of the situation. One of the things that I used to do all the time is believe that what I had to say didn't matter because of this very specific situation when I was there's a couple, but the one that I can think of is as a kid or as a adult. I was working with my dad and I had gotten really emotional about something. And he was just not going to have it. He was not going to listen to me. And that was him, right? Like him not knowing how to expand his capacity to feel my emotions because he didn't want to feel those emotions because no one taught him. I love my dad with my whole heart and soul, and he's literally the greatest man in the world, besides my husband and my son. um, and and he just no one ever taught him that. But in that moment, I didn't see it that way. What I saw was that there was something wrong with me and that no one cared about what I had to say. And so I took that on, and I like literally with my husband, I would have this thought running in the background of my mind that what I had to say didn't matter. And I would feel that in my body. So certain things would trigger that. And this is where, when I was able to process that, when I was able to let that go, things like that stopped triggering me. When my husband didn't have a minute to have a deep conversation with me, or at night when he's like, hey, I don't want to talk about this right now, we can talk about it later, I didn't make meaning of it anymore. I stopped letting it mean that he didn't care about what I had to say. Because, and here's the thing, like, I took that into my business. I literally took that belief and that emotion into my business that people didn't care what I had to say. And again, going back to the energetic match, if I don't believe that people care about what I have to say, I'm not going to be an energetic match for somebody who wants to listen to what I have to say. And trust me, building the belief in myself that this matters and what I have to say here matters was huge for me. Because then I was able to tap into service versus, oh my gosh, people don't care about me. Focus on me, me, me. And instead be able to show up and be like, how can I help serve her? All of this knowledge and wisdom that I've learned over the last few years has changed my life, and it matters. It needs to be said. More people need to hear this. And when I show up in that energy, I become the energetic match for somebody who needs to hear what I have to say so that they can change their life, so that they can reach their goals, so that they're no longer beating themselves up and wondering why I can't reach my goals when you're literally fighting an uphill battle. And then, of course, we dive deeper into like human design and astrology, and we really help you understand your personal productivity and build your own strategy and a game plan that allows you to align with your soul. Because one of the things that I recognized and noticed is I was trying to follow so many other people's strategies. I was trying to create, productivity from a space of this is how she did it versus here's what naturally works for me. The saying like know thyself. Here's what works for me, and stop trying to fight against myself and go with the flow and find something that's going to get me to show up and stop fighting against myself. And then, of course, the last thing is really just learning how to have fun in the moment. We spend so much time on our goals and dreams and seriously just don't have fun in life. It's like if I don't reach this goal, then I can't enjoy myself. If I don't reach this goal weight, then I can't wear my bikini and show up and have fun, you know? You see other people in their bikinis and you think, "Oh, if I could only just look like that, then maybe I would be able to have fun at the beach." Or if I could just make as much money as she's making, or if I could just have as much followers as she has, then maybe I could make money in my business. And then you're not having fun anymore. You're not enjoying the process. Imagine working towards a goal and literally being so excited to wake up every single morning to work on it. And that's the shift that we make in magnetic. And that's what makes you magnetic because the universe will always reward those of us who are having fun. When you learn to have fun, when you learn to just enjoy the process, essentially what you're doing is you're letting go of the outcome, which sounds kind of counterintuitive, but it's not. You let go of the outcome, you have fun, you keep that intention, right? Because I'm going to show you how to align your brain with the things that you want. And you're naturally going to take inspired action without recognizing it. And it won't feel like a hustle because you're going to be enjoying it. And then you reach the goals and you're like, dang, that was fun. My life is really, really good now. Instead of constantly feeling like I'm never going to get to where I want to go. And I remember that because I remember being there. I remember waking up one day and being like, oh my God, my life is so good. And yet here I am. Like, right, I have a house, I have a roof over my head, I have food, I have, a wonderful husband, and yet I'm sad and empty inside. And I never want anyone to feel that way. But what I did and what I wish I would have known is that no amount of weight loss, no amount of building a business is going to create happiness inside of you. If you think what you're doing right now is not enough, then the next level, you're still going to feel like it's not enough. And then what my brain did is, what's the point? What's the point of this goal if it's never enough? And then I didn't want to reach the goals, but then I was sad and depressed because my heart and my soul was like, "Hey, these goals are on your heart. We want you to reach these goals." And that's where I think a lot of people run into anxiety and depression is they have this thing on their heart and they're not listening to their soul. But that's a story for another day. So, essentially what I'm trying to get at is when you learn how to feel enough, when you learn that in the moment you can have fun, you can enjoy the process, you can love yourself now. That the way you look in the mirror right now m- is perfect and wonderful and amazing, and there's nothing you need to change. And that the way that you are going about your goals right now, nothing's gone wrong. You're doing things exactly in the way that you're meant to do them. And when you take the thought that I'm doing this wrong, that I'm not enough, that I'm never gonna get there out of the picture, and you just have fun, things are so in alignment and your life is going to change 100%. And you're not going to wake up one day and be like, I should be grateful for all that I have. You're going to wake up and be like, I am grateful for all that I have and I love this life and I'm having so much fun and I'm reaching my goals and things are flowing for me. And that's what magnetic is. That's what the program is. So stay tuned. There's going to be another free challenge and then a launch coming up in the next couple weeks, months. We'll have another round of it. So stay tuned. Just a quick little recap. The mindset that you want to take into your life is nothing has gone wrong. So I want you to recognize today when you feel like maybe you've made a mistake or you get to, the end of your workday and you're walking to your car and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't get this done. I didn't get this done. And remind yourself, put your hand on your heart and take a deep breath in and let it out. And remind yourself that nothing's gone wrong. We're right on track. Things are working out. I've got this. Okay, that's what I have for you today. Have a beautiful day. Love you. Mwah. If this episode helped in any way, shape, or form, please leave a 5-star rating and review. If you're on Apple, it's kind of complicated. You gotta go, you gotta go all the way to the podcast and then scroll down to the bottom. Click that 5-star and say, "This is what helped me in this podcast, and here's why you should listen." Because the more people that listen, the more we are going to be able to change our reality. So, change the reality of where everyone is in society and help them feel better about their lives. And when everyone is feeling so much better, we change the dynamic of how we all show up. So, okay, I love you with my whole heart and soul. Bye.